Greetings and salutations, my friend. I'm pretty sure that some people watching this video will be the usual audience who watch my videos, but I hope that YouTube algorithm will somehow make people who hate their life find this video. And I don't mean just someone who had a bad day and says, "Oh, I hate my life." We've all been there, right? Just a few days ago, I cooked a pretty delicious dinner. At least I hope it was. I don't know, because I actually dropped the pot I was cooking it in and it was all over the floor. So I didn't have my dinner and I said, I hate my life. But I think in instances like that, we are not to take it literally, of course. Now, I'm talking about the cases where, you really, really, genuinely hate your life. And, maybe you have good reasons to hate your life. I'm not saying you don't, life is not all sunshine and rainbows. Some of us have it real tough, and shit, I've been there. I hated my life. So I'm not saying it is from a perspective of someone who doesn't know what it's like, who will tell you, just be happy! Because, it doesn't fucking work like that, yeah? I hit the rock bottom. I struggled with addiction. I've made some horrible choices in life. I've been in a bad situation, both psychologically and financially and whatnot, I think the very bottom you can land on, I've been there. And I hated my life, and not just life, I hated life in general. I hated all life and people and everything, because, I think hate always starts with yourself. And then it spreads from there. That's how it works a lot of the time. And, maybe you have good reasons. And then sometimes I meet people who will say that they love life, or that they think life is beautiful, wonderful, life is a gift. My grandma, my late grandma, used to say that, like, I never understood her, because my perspective was so different. I always saw the dark side of the world, the reality of people. It's always been very visible to me. But she would always say, life is beautiful, and it's too bad she's gone, because, well, she no longer has a life. But I think she appreciated this ride as much as she possibly could. Now, I'm not saying you should love life by any means. You see, I don't think that life is something that has to be loved. No, I don't think that life is something that has to be hated. If anything, life is something that should be understood. More precisely, I think that life is something that should be understood for what it is. Nothing more and nothing less. And what is that exactly? Struggle. All life is struggle. And not just life, really. If you think about it, all matter and energy struggles, right? All the circulation of energy in space, it's a struggle. The birth of a star, the growth of a star, the star becoming a supernova, it's a struggle. Black hole, it's a struggle. A bird flying, it's a struggle against gravity. Water, and it's like mice. Mice will get anywhere, right? And it's like that. With time, it will penetrate anything. And actually, a lot of the landscape structures we have on this earth are actually results of the struggles of the water. The only difference about life that actually separates it from everything that is inanimate is that you're also experiencing that struggle, feeling it. There's something perceiving it from the internal perspective. And then there's the higher level of consciousness, when you're not just experiencing the struggle purely through your senses, but you're also thinking about it, you're aware of it, right? And a philosopher, Peter Vesselzapfe, actually claimed that this is the source of suffering in humans, right? He was an antinatalist, and I talked more about him in my video on antinatalism I did some time ago. Why I'm saying this is because, you know, if you're in that position where you hate your life or life in general, telling you that life is good, life is wonderful, life is beautiful, life is a gift, it's not really worth much, right? You won't be able to relate to that at all. And it's actually a lie. It is a one big lie. Because life is much more than that, right? And I think in order to have the accurate understanding of what life is, it shouldn't be too naive and too optimistic about what it is, but I also don't think we should be too negative. Instead, I think we need to take this struggle for what it is. It's just something that exists on a principle level of the most basic laws of the universe, where everything struggles. All the motion, growth and change that is happening in the universe, it's a struggle. And now that I told you this, and if you're in a difficult situation and your life is a struggle, you might be thinking, well, I perhaps gave you more reasons to hate life now, right? Perhaps, but I also think that this opens a door for a different possibility, where you start thinking, this isn't a bad thing, it's not a good thing. Because when we call it a bad thing or a good thing, it's really an evaluation of our own values surrounding the struggle. But the struggle in and of itself is neutral. It's a basic element of the universe, really. It's foundational. You can't really go against it. You know, as a existing object, especially as an existing object that is conscious, you cannot go against the struggle. It will find you. You don't have to love life, but know what it is at its very core. And if you somehow, through the process, manage to learn to love life, despite all of that, all of its shortcomings and all of its dark sides, that's great. But know that this struggle in and of itself is not the dark side, nor is it the light side. It just exists. And if you think about it, hating life itself is a struggle. You're actually wasting a lot of energy on hating your life. And no matter whether you hate your life or not, you are still struggling. So why still struggle and hate your life and waste that energy on that simply, where you could just be wasting your energy on the struggle itself? Or perhaps wasting energy is not the right way of putting it. Putting it is exactly what you're doing with your energy. You are putting it somewhere through the struggle. I will say you even have an upper hand now. Because you see, at first you don't, right? People who have an upper hand are people who didn't have to struggle with their mental health, or perhaps life was just easier for them and they could focus on that physical struggle, right? Their education, their career, making money, family relationships, all of that. You know, they were focusing on that because their struggle was not with their mental health or addiction or whatever shitty situation you find yourself in, maybe difficult family situation, you know, whatever, war, hunger, poverty, you know, it all sucks, it drains you, yeah, and you waste energy on that struggle when some people's line are just so linear and they can focus on that. Sure, they have an upper hand, but if you were in position where you struggle with your mental health and maybe you ended up hating your life, if you manage to pull yourself out of it, you have an upper hand because now you possess a better, deeper understanding of that struggle. And trust me, that will help you in the future. It will only make you stronger as a person on every single level imaginable, with emotional, spiritual. intellectual, all of it, really. And I'm not saying join the rat race, you know, because, hell, I don't give a fuck about the rat race, you know. It's a waste of time, focused purely on materialism. You know, I'm someone who's like, you know, I see the rat race going on there, people running. I'm seeing a mountain there. No one's going in that direction because people are so focused on the rat race. I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna climb that fucking mountain over there. So, understand that life is a struggle. Accept it. And struggle. Because you don't really have a choice anyway. you don't. So, find yourself a mountain you want to climb, you genuinely want to climb, not because someone wants you to. Don't do anything in your life unless you're in a really shitty situation where you don't really have a choice, you know? I think to be able to pursue your own path is actually a privilege in and of its own. And some people don't have that privilege, unfortunately. It's sad, I hope something will change, but unfortunately, that's the truth. That's also one of the truth of life. We have to accept for what it is, but also try to change it. This is something we can't change. The fact that all life is struggle is not something we can change. Never, ever. We will always struggle. You know, never ever buy into a lie someone is selling you when someone is selling you a utopia, because that is bullshit. Right? That never works. But find yourself a mountain you genuinely want to climb, and climb that mountain. No matter how long it takes. It will take years, decades, doesn't matter. Just keep climbing. You'll either climb to the very top or you will die trying. Either way, I say it is way more worth it than participating in the rat race that they want you to participate in because they want you to be the pawn in their system. And it is much better than wasting your life, hating your life. So yeah, don't love it, don't hate it, just take it for what it is and fucking climb. I hope this video was helpful. I hope it was valuable in some way, one or another. And you know, I think there will be some people who say, yeah, this is bullshit. And honestly, if you're at the very bottom, it takes time to fully process it for it to sink in. But I strongly believe that anybody can get out of there.